right, guys. So it is 7 o'clock, and we're going to kick off the Retro Handhelds Community Night / AMA. This is our third live event, hosted and sponsored by Discord. So we are very happy and honored that we are the featured stage right now. Public out to the Discord, the internet's out at large. Tonight, I am your host / question answerer, and FlatFootFox will be reading us questions. And Thor and Rapid99 / Cyberfile will be answering. And they are also my co-hosts. Welcome, everyone.
Hey,
hello.
Hey, welcome.
And, all right, I guess let's just kind of dive in, get started, get loosey-goosey.
Okay, so your first question here, Eames is giving us a nice softball. What hidden gems have you discovered lately, ones that you might not have mentioned on a previous cast?
Well, let's see here. There's a huge NES back catalog. One of my favorites is McKids. And I know Stubbs has really been into Barbie games for quite some time. So how do you feel about Barbie games still, Stubbs?
Hey, those are the best games ever made. Barbie Explorer, I will go to my grave saying that game has the best achievement system, okay? Don't even test me right now.
What about you, Rapid?
Our latest game of the month, where we did untranslated games, there's a lot of really cool stuff that I had never heard of on there.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the one that really jumped out at me that I had never heard of is Mizurna Falls, which I guess is kind of like a Twin Peaks-esque whodunit. What's going on with this small little town, and who's killing people, and why are people disappearing? I don't know. It's super exciting. I love that kind of thing.
How do you spell that? Mizurna?
Yeah, Mizzurna.
I've not seen this before. That's I'm gonna have to add that to my list.
I started playing it, and it's pretty straightforward so far, but once you finish the prologue, it gets kind of almost like Shenmue-esque, where it's like, okay,
Really?
Here's the world, time's the ticking, you figure it out.
Is it kind of like I don't know, like a Resident Evil kind of feel in the way the characters move? Does it have that late 90s kind of
Absolutely, 100%.
like awkward
it feels
movement?
It's really, they definitely don't have it down. I'd say the movement is probably the worst part of it, because in it, like with tank controls, you can at least like wrap your head around it, right? But with this, like, you press forward to move forward, but if you press forward and right, your character just defaults to turning right. So it's a little awkward, but I don't know if there's any combat or anything, or if there is, I haven't run into it yet. So
it sounds perfect and right up my alley. I mean, got a 22 out of 40. Ooh.
Yeah.
Didn't score too great. Out of 40 for one thing. Like, that's a kind of a strange grading scale. Looks like we'll have to get a translation patch for it.
Yeah, you got to find your own because it only came out in Japan. Romhacking.net, thank you. Which is weird because check it out. I was reading up on this. The dude who wrote it and directed it, he made only this game, and then became like a wildlife, like a park ranger or whatever, and never did anything else in games again.
Wow. I mean, I can see the wildlife stuff in here. The main character is discovered unconscious in the forest, apparently attacked by a bear. Soon after, high school student Emma goes missing. Emma's classmate Matthew becomes involved in the mystery surrounding the disappearance and the dark secrets of the town. I mean, that sounds like Twin Peaks as a video game.
It does.
Or like Silent Hill. That's
cryptic old lady who's like, the things aren't right in this town.
Well, cool.
Next question.
Yeah, what do we got?
Sure thing. So this is moving a bit more into hardware territory. Shortcake earlier was asking kind of device recommendations from you all. So they're looking for something that can play NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, that sort of thing. They want a headphone jack, decent battery life, and a good screen, and they like horizontal devices. So this is a pretty open kind of space for you guys to just kind of recommend whatever you're enjoying right now.
I mean, my go-to for this is going to be the RP2 for a horizontal device, to be honest.
Right.
With a headphone jack.
Right. It's like I got to remember. Is there a headphone jack in there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. A lot of people are going to say the RG351P, 351M, and they're not necessarily wrong either. The M's build quality is outrageous, and I know Stubbs can back me up on that.
Oh
one.
yeah, completely. It's amazing.
The
I'm pulling
metal
mine out
body
right
is,
now.
yeah, I'm holding it in my hands. I'm cradling it like a baby. The build quality is ridiculous, but the RP2 has a bigger screen. It has a higher resolution screen. And so I feel like it's going to be more accurate. So if you don't have a problem with taking a little bit of time and dealing with the Android setup for a standalone emulator with RetroArch, I would definitely personally suggest the RP2 for something like that.
And I'd have to say 350M would be my vote there, only because they're only asking for what, up to Genesis? I mean,
yeah,
that opens such a wide spectrum of devices that meets those needs. But again, yeah, I can see how the RP2, especially if you want to go Android.
Yeah, because with Android, you can load up the Android apps and better emulator support in general. But the elect-based firmwares on the 351 and 350s they're so simple. They're so straightforward, you know? So
Yeah.
it depends on how much you want to tinker. I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of as a follow-up to that, you were mentioning setting up different emulators on the RP2. May was asking, what's the best GBA emulator? And they said that the RP2 was a little complicated to set up, so I'm curious if they were asking for kind of the best GBA emulator for that, or just in general, because I know you mentioned the RG351 earlier, which that's really where it shines there, is that widescreen support.
I believe it's the MGBA core in RetroArch is fantastic. As far as Android, that's going to be My Boy, which is a paid app, but it crushes it on the RP2 for sure. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm gonna have to immediately veto MGBA only because I've been having some issues with it lately in the latest build of RetroArch at least on 64-bit. I don't know why, but it's just completely borked. I can't get anything to work on it. I've been falling back to GPSP, which is, of course, a 32-bit core for RetroArch, as well as what was the other one? Virtual Boy Advanced VBA-M. That one's been pretty good, and there's a newer take on that one. So those have sort of been my backups while I've been waiting for the MGBA to get figured out. Rapid, what about you?
Yeah, for me, I've mostly been using the GPSP core with the RetroArch 1.5. I've had only one issue with it ever, so I beat the entirety of Mother 3 on it for our last game of the month and had no issues whatsoever. And that is a timing-based game. There are timing combos in combat, so I didn't experience any input lag or anything that was really throwing me off. But really, really weird, specific case. But the one Hamtaro game does not like GPSP. It won't make it past the intro screen.
Hamtaro? Really?
Oh, dude, it's so good. I don't care what anybody says.
No. I'm not arguing that. My sister, by the way, growing up, loved Hamtaro. Her whole room was covered in Hamtaro. Ham. All the hams. I didn't quite understand it. She also had a lot of hamsters as pets. And I loved just the enthusiasm and the passion for it. I still need to play the game myself. So that's
you
on
really
my
should.
list.
It's surprisingly good. It's uncomfortably good. It has no right to be as good as it is. Anyway, for that one, I use the MGBA core because for whatever reason GPSP just stops accepting inputs for it after the title screen or something. It's really strange.
So Fegel has an interesting question. It was a little bit of a long one, so I'm going to paraphrase here if you don't mind.
Sure.
They basically were saying, with the advent of all of these new mass-produced retro handhelds, it wasn't that long ago that if you wanted to do, kind of classic gaming on the go, you'd have to deal with those boutique, like custom-made, either Raspberry Pi devices or something where somebody had just gone to town on a Wii's circuit board and that sort of thing. Do you guys see the mass-produced handhelds that are coming out kind of taking over the whole space, or do you think that there's going to be room for both going forward?
I think that it's going to sort of continue being like it is now, where independent designers make something open source and everybody kind of gloms on. Everybody sort of accepts that design, especially for the circuit board, and then starts manufacturing devices based around that. We saw that really, really, really hard with the 3326, the Rockchip 3326, with the RG series, the Gameforce Chi, and a bunch of other ones. And I also think some of these companies may have learned their lessons during the production of those. You know what I mean? Retroid definitely seems to be continually learning lessons. If you look at some of the design documents around the RP3 for their patent, it's a much smoother device. It looks much more Switch-light than classic console, especially with the widescreen and the rounded edges, but they still went with the stacked L1 and L2 and R1 and R2, right? I think the winner of this is going to be whoever continues to come up with the best design and whoever continues to have the best support. So whether that's community driven or not, I think will remain to be seen. But as far as device manufacturing itself, I really, really think that it's dependent on independent device designers making open source designs. Those will always be better than whatever's mass produced, in my opinion. How do you guys feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have an excellent point. There's always going to be some dude who just wants to rip his Wii apart and make it a handheld,
Right.
and those are super fun and a great time. But yeah, I think keeping things open source and making the best feeling and looking design is probably just what's going to come out on top.
Yeah. What about you, Stubbs?
I mean, I think RP3 is going to just bring the win.
You
with
think
this
so?
one. Oh yeah. I think people are going to say, what Valhalla? I think people are going to say, what is this KTR one? Like RP3, I just have this faith in the company that they're going to come through and bring us that device and just usher in a new era of happiness in the community and uniting the tribes in a way. That's just my quick.
I mean, I'm
opinion.
definitely excited for it, but I still want a 4x3 screen. If we're not doing like PS3 era and ahead, I still want the 4x3 screen.
This 100%. I think too many new devices are trying to jump already to the 16:9 widescreen, and we're just there's no point, dude. Like, stuff was made for 4.3 for so long.
Well, there is a point on Android-based devices, though.
Sure. Okay.
Well, that's only if you have like super awesome screen mapping software and stuff built into the operating system.
And I suppose like I just grew up in the era of like the GPD XD was one of my first devices in the retro handheld scene, and that was a 16:9 screen, and I got used to the fact that everything's being upscaled and everything's being stretched, and my eyes got used to it. And I know for most people they're very much like, no, I want pixel perfect, I want correct aspect ratio, but I got used to it. So when these new 4.3 devices came out, for the first time, my eyes are like, oh, okay, this is what this is supposed to look like. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. And now I'm in love with the 4.3 aspect. So seeing something like the RGB 10 Max come out and going back to that 16:9, like going back to it hard, I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work for these older games. It kind of, PSP obviously, but like Game Boy games stretched on the Max is kind of ridiculous looking.
Well,
So
I think I'm nostalgic, but also a traitor, because I saw
Yeah.
that Super Mario World widescreen hack come out last week,
yeah.
and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's what I want right there.
Yeah.
Take these older games and give me widescreen hacks, please.
Yeah, I know. Like Redream has that feature built in, right? Where it'll stretch if the game allows it, if the game is sort of programmed for it. Sometimes it adds some really crazy artifacts doing that, like in like Crazy Taxi, or no, what's the other one? Like one of the Rayman games stretches really funny in Dreamcast. When you turn the widescreen hack on, it's just like chaos pixels on the left and on the right. But
yeah, and a lot of GameCube games, when you do the 16:9 widescreen hacks, they do the weird culling thing where you have 2/3 of the screen Whatever's in the center is still on, but when you turn, stuff just drops off.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah, for
weird
sure.
looking.
All right, what do we got next?
Yes, so speaking of kind of the next generation of handhelds, Time is Art asks, place your bets on which next-gen handheld is going to release first. The Retroid Pocket 3, the Valhalla or the 99, the KTR1, or the Powkiddy X18S.
Oof.
X18S. Easy.
You think so? You think that beats the RP3?
I think it beats it just for the fact that Powkiddy just drops them hard, drops them fast.
They do. You're
without
right. They do.
any second thought. They're just like, boom, new device on the market.
Yeah.
I think they're
doing
going to
that
win.
with the 17, whatever that thing's going to be, without the second analog stick. See that thing? It's so weird.
I don't know if I want to. I haven't seen it yet.
See,
So,
I don't know. I thought the Valhalla like dropped back in February, right, guys?
Right, and I thought it was January.
no, so I do agree with you that the X18S, yeah, that's probably going to be first, but the RP3 will be better, in my opinion.
Yeah, the RP3, we're thinking October timeframe. X18S,
Right.
if I had to venture a guess, maybe September. And Valhalla, maybe 2022. I don't know.
I'm gonna do a little live leak for the RP3 real quick here, and
Oh, right, there's
say
new info.
I'm just gonna say this one thing and leave it alone.
Okay.
It does have a touch. It does have a touch screen,
Touchscreen is
according
confirmed
to my sources.
on the RP3. It's going to be good. Yeah, and the KTR1, I don't know. I was reading about that on Obscure Handhelds the other day, just like, what do we know about this device? And
It's a single developer. They've changed the orientation of the sticks and stuff from the PlayStation to the Xbox orientation and back and forth.
Right.
And the last thing I heard was there was consideration for 2 models where they had them swapped. So I don't know. And I know they had at one point an AM Logic 922 lined up for the processor, and now they're talking about the Snapdragon 845. It just seems kind of up in the air for me to be really deeply interested in it.
Well, here's the thing, though. The Game Force was up in the air for a while, and it was a one developer and one guy's passion project.
Yeah.
And it happened. And it's doing well, especially for what it is. And this seems like the same scenario. It's a passion project. It's one dude who just wants to make the ultimate device for him or them, and it just seems like they know what they want now, and they're kind of locking in that dream, and now they're trying to make it happen. And I believe in it. I think it will happen, but probably not this year. I think it's going to be 2022.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah,
And then with
question.
Valhalla, God, that's a mess.
It is. It is, but we'll see. We'll see if Qualcomm comes through with the fix that Taki is talking about.
I mean, we can talk about the producer of it, because the last I heard it was going to be more chip.
Right.
But that doesn't mean anything for the branding. Who actually has the branding on it? Whose logo is going to be on it? That's what I really want to know. That's what's burning me up. Is it going to be Tencent? Is it going to be somebody else? I mean, who's going to be owning it?
We will find out soon. I have a funny feeling about that one. So I think we're going to find out real quick who it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's coming out, I don't know. I'm not sure.
We're going to find out.
Sounds good. Okay, for this next one, do you want either a technical question or a bit of a lighter question?
Let's go light,
Cool,
man.
lighter question. Yeah.
Okay, for the lighter question, Opus says, what is the hardest, most difficult, or proudest achievement/trophy you've gotten in a video game? And I think given the topic at hand, this can definitely include retro achievements or just that one time you collected all the MacGuffins in a classic game.
I'm going to go with, this is a little more modern, but Momodora, which is a Metroidvania game. Beating that game on insanity mode and getting the 100%ing it on PlayStation, getting in the platinum trophy. That was the craziest thing I've done, at least this year. I don't know why I took on that challenge, other than like I think I need to do this. I need to prove this to myself that I still got it. you know, when I was a kid, I could beat Mega Man 2 on a Saturday morning. But as an adult, it's like, you know what? I still got this. Like, I'm going to 100% this game in 1 week. I don't care. Let's go. And I did it, but like not without consequence. Not without like my thumbs absolutely giving out on me. And like I couldn't keyboard at work for a few days. I had to take probably a 2-hour nap afterwards. And I had to like just hydrate like liquids. So that's my story.
I would say for me, it would be the Venus sigil in Final Fantasy X, the lightning dodging game, where you have to dodge it 200 times in a row. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh my gosh, that achievement! Yeah. Oh,
well, not even achievement.
I'm
talking original. it was the upgrade item for Lulu's Onion Knight Ultimate Weapon.
Right.
Yeah, it was. I mean, not worth it, right? But I had to do it. This was on the original release on PS2 many moons ago, 20 years ago now, right? I would come home after school and I would spend an hour every day for 3 weeks trying to get it done. And I finally did it, and I'll never do it again.
You did it, man.
Wow. Yeah, just props to you for that. That's,
it was ridiculous.
Momodora is great, by the way. That's the fourth game in the series, I think, and boy, it's so good.
The fourth one. That's the one. I forget the name of it.
Reverie Under the Moonlight? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's so good. I thought Bloodstained was good, but man, Momodora blows it out of the water.
That game is so fun and so pretty. But enough of that. My hard game achievements. I really like hard games. I love ball-bustingly difficult games.
I know you
do. I'm a Dark Souls guy. I have a platinum trophy for Bloodborne. It's my thing.
Good Lord.
But I think my two crowning achievements are Silver Surfer, first of all. I can beat that game on one continue. I love Silver Surfer. It's absurd and it's hard and it's not fair, but it's so fun for me. But my real number one achievement that I was like, wow, I beat this game finally, is the American version of Castlevania 3.
Oh.
For those of you who don't know, the Japanese version of Castlevania 3 is a lot easier, because in the American version, how it works is your damage is not by enemy, it's by level. So a bat in level 1 hits you for 1 square, while a bat in level 4 hits you for 4 squares, which means 3 bats and you're dead. So it's like, that game is just so ball-breakingly difficult, but I finally did it on my RP2, no less, a couple months ago, and I was like, never again. If I want to play this game again, I'm playing the Japanese version. I'm never doing the American version again.
Nope.
It's so hard.
I hear you. I think Ghosts and Goblins is that game for me, where I'm like, I can't. It just hurts. The whole way through hurts.
That's on my backlist. So like my backlist of like way too hard games that I need to beat to like call myself an official hardcore gamer are Castlevania 3, which I beat, Ninja Gaiden 1, which I've beaten, and the last one is Ghosts and Goblins, which I have not done yet. So one day.
We'll all get there one day. I did beat Mega Man 1 in an hour in January this year. That's one thing I wanted to bring up that I was very proud of.
Be honest, did you use the glitch on the yellow guy?
I absolutely did. I did. I learned about that glitch, and I'm like, this will save me a lot of time. It was worth it, and I will do that now. I also sometimes use fast forward and rewind. No shame. No shame in that game. I turned off Retro Achievements hard mode. I'm good with it. Okay, what's next?
Okay, so Basic Trips has a interesting question about device firmwares. Out of all the firmwares we've seen on recent handhelds, what's the most impressive one? Or as a separate question, what's kind of the most general ease of use out of all of them? And moving forward, are you looking forward to seeing new firmwares out there for any of the existing or upcoming handhelds?
Thor?
Well, I am going to pat myself and Turtle in No Time to Date on the shoulder and saying that we just put out new firmware today for the RG351MP and V, as well as the RGB10 Max for Lineage. That took quite a bit of work and support from each other in figuring stuff out. So mad props to them for putting that out today. As far as impressive, I'm impressed with 351 LX community and their general support.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yep. I'd have to echo that too. While I love Android the best, I have a passion for Android. I am so impressed with 351 LX. Also ArcOS.
Yeah.
And those are two just, fantastic. Rapid?
I'm gonna bow out of this question because I only have the RP2 right now, and I only run the 6.0. Haven't updated it. Not even running Lineage. I know. I'm sorry.
Well, at least okay.
It works. It emulates what I want it to. I'm happy.
At least between 6.0 and Retroid OS, which do you use?
Oh, what's the other one? I heard it's not really supported around the community. I'm not really sure, buddy.
Hey, now we love and appreciate our Retroid OS members in our Facebook group. Okay, that's like that is our whole thing over there.
Because the ROM store thing, man.
The ROM store, but I'm impressed with multiple parts of Retroid OS.
It's not just closed source, but it's encrypted as well. We literally can't help. Yeah,
it's tough to support as a community. It's fast.
I've heard good things about like Dreamcast and like arcade stuff.
Making the dream last. Retroid OS is.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. It's there.
Again, from what I hear, it's not going to be included on the RP3.
Have they finally kind of decided, seen the light?
I've just been hearing rumblings. That's all.
Okay, fair enough. I'm good with it. Hey, I'm Lineage guy now. You've converted me, Thor. So come on.
One day I'll make the jump.
You get there. What's next?
All right, we've got another one from Eames. This one is, what is your best and potentially maybe worst experience with the retro handhelds community in the last year or so?
My best experience, no kidding, has been the friends and the friends that I've made, this podcast in particular, as well as the community support. That's been the best, without a doubt. The worst was the original 8.1 release from Retroid.
Oh. You're going to bring up PTSD flashbacks.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. Because they released an OS that was not ready whatsoever, and a bunch of people flashed it, and it just was not ready for production. It was not ready for the community. And in doing so, a bunch of people lost their saves. A bunch of people lost all of their data. There weren't any good guides. People thought it was just a direct update, and it wasn't. And it just, man, that was a mess.
Yeah, that was a bad day. I remember it was kind of like, I remember logging in and being like, oh,
it got pulled.
It did get pulled, and that was like, I think our community was like at a peak, both membership and engagement for the month on that day. And everyone was joining, like let me get this 8.1. Everyone was talking about the 8.1, and it dropped. And I'm like, oh, we need all hands on deck. Like I'm calling people on voice. Like we gotta get you on. Like I don't know where everyone's at right now. Let's all hop in here, and like everybody helped out and pitched in. And as a community, we just barely sort of supported through the day. And we had YouTubers who were helping us out, who were putting out videos and guides.
With the developers too, like a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Like a lot. Like, what is going on? Why doesn't this work?
Right. I remember, I think it was Luke from Mortexer and then Russ from Retro Game Core, who I see is in the audience. Hello, Russ. I remember they made videos, like within a few hours.
Yeah.
And we had guides out there like, okay, guys, here's how you do this. Here's how you do it correctly without breaking your device. And it was just a whole thing. So we got there.
Let's be honest. The SP Flash update thing, is tenuous and wonky at best.
Yeah. It's no Belina Etcher.
No.
So
No.
So-
I mean, you have to install special drivers and all that kind of stuff. It's a whole thing. We eventually got the guide together. I rewrote the Retroid guide to make sure that everybody was okay. But yeah, that was a really bad day.
it was. And my personal worst day was this will be the fourth day in a row I brought this up. The tally incident. The Tallygate of 2020.
Oh my gosh.
We had a user
called out.
We had a user who I was kind of new to administering a server. This was way at the beginning, and she got her Retroid, and the screen cracked or something, and then she was supposed to send it back to Retroid, and Taki got involved, and I don't know if she ever did, and she sort of just almost tanked the community. Like one person almost tanked the community on one day. We made a shipping channel for her to help
Just
work
for
out her
that.
issue to work that out, and that was just a PR and like admin nightmare. And we're like trying to help her out, and Taki's trying to help her, and she's just not having it. She's just fed up with everybody.
Well, and then there was all the cross server posting as well involved in that. That was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and then if one server didn't help her, she would just kind of shit post in the other server, and it was just a drama thing. And
Yeah.
that was about a year ago, so that was the worst, I think, day I've had on the server. But the best day I've had, man, I don't know. Just any time we do things as a community where we overcome, where we have new firmware releases that go well, that we have a chance to reflect and just enjoy each other's company. Sometimes the memes channel just goes nuts in like a really nice way. Where I'm like, man, I needed to
Every now
laugh
and then,
today.
yeah.
Work is stressful, and I'll pop in a channel and I'll just laugh my butt off and just be really appreciative for the community we've grown. So just yeah. I'm grateful. I'm a softie. What can I say? Rapid.
Hey, so sorry. go
Yeah,
ahead.
Since joining the server, I missed a lot of those big things. I joined right when that 8.1 update came out, and I kind of saw the aftermath of it. I was just a regular user at the time, and I was just like, boy, I am definitely staying on 6 now. And see, that stuck with me until this very moment. Yeah.
If it
It's scared.
ain't broke, don't
that
fix
much.
it.
Exactly.
Well, if you guys ever wonder why I release the firmware, right? Like why I'm the one that's posting about it and everything and not somebody from Retroid, it's because I purposely said it so we intercept it so we can test it first because of that incident. So
Right. Thank you for that. But my best moments, I don't, maybe
We lost you.
specific
There we
moment. I love Game of the Month. I have made it my child
Yeah.
and
oh, you really have, man.
guru. I love learning about new games. I love playing new games. I just love games, man. And I just think it's really cool that everyone gets to sort of interact on it. Everybody gets to be like, oh, I want to nominate my favorite
Right.
game or this game I've never heard of. And
It's a lot of fun. I love the voting part. I think that's my favorite, when it's like, okay, we've nominated the games, now it's time to vote, and just watching the emojis add up and like, okay,
the stick up, yeah.
who's gonna win?
At the end, you're like, hey, my favorite game's not winning. Does anybody want to change their vote?
I know, right?
There
month
is
someone
always
does
that begging, isn't there?
I think Choosh is our worst offender on that one. I'm gonna call him out. He's like, nope, Monster Rancher should have won. That's actually the winner. I discount everything that has just happened. I'm like,
You are incorrect.
I mean,
Shout out to that Choosh Rancher event back in
Choosh
April.
Rich.
Man, I remember nominating Twisted Metal 2 and it didn't win, so I nominated again this month. It's gonna win.
Heck
Vote
yeah.
for Twisted
Yeah,
Metal 2.
we've got a nomination period going on right now, don't
That's
we?
right. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. For any new
Would you
people
like to
out
talk
there.
about that a little bit?
And we added the raffle to the Game of the Month champions.
We got-
people who play the game and prove it.
We got $20 gift cards. We got giveaways. We got fun stuff for
That's
participating. So, Game of the Month, never been a better time to hop on. Just saying, vote for Twisted Metal
Shame.
2, and maybe it'll be $30 gift card. I don't know.
Shameless plug.
I don't know.
So what's this month's theme?
Twisted Metal 2.
Twisted Metal 2 is this one's thing.
Game, yeah, the
Game
theme
with
is
awesome music, right?
That's right. Games with great soundtracks, or games that have Twisted Metal and 2 in the title.
Correct.
Now, yeah, basically anything with a really good soundtrack. If you want to get in on this, post your nomination. I'm going to close them tonight after this AMA. So if you think of any last moment noms, now's the time.
I'm surprised no one's nominated Mega Man 3.
I think 3 has better music than
Charity, did you blow your nomination on something else? And
Twisted
are
Metal 2.
Regretting it? Twisted Metal 2.
Twisted Metal 2.
So, speaking of giveaways, Opus was asking, did we ever hear any word about the Retroid apparel contest with the winners getting their prizes and or shirts?
We did. I was looking at that just today, actually. And look up who the winners were. They didn't announce it to us, so we never had a
Which
big
is
thing.
weird.
But they dropped a page with the winners, and then there was no fanfare about it. But they're here. The design competition is on GoRetroid.com right now. I don't know when this showed up. Sometime in the last few months. I'm going to drop that in here in the podcast chat channel. There's the winners right there. So it looks like number 1 went to Sergio X, first prize winner. They had a really cool design of Link in A Link to the Past on top of a Retroid Pocket 2. So that's kind of cool. Second place was Nolan Sneed with the Retroid Pocket, which I think is also a wallpaper that we've used and we host on our website. And the third is Dan Baker, who had a really cool design of black and white monochrome design of different gaming symbols coming out of a Retroid Pocket symbol. So has the Mega Man energy and the Hyrule symbol and Mario mushrooms. So yeah, those are the winners.
That's really cool. They got the prizes for those.
We have no idea if they got their prize.
Looks like, the first place prize was $25 off coupon, plus a Funtastic Collection RP2 of your choice with your name engraved, as well as, your shirt that you made being sent to you. And, second place, that minus the actual RP2. Third place, that minus the shirt. And I think you get just a $10 off coupon. So, kind of neat. Pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Really cool prizes.
Yeah, that is definitely awesome. So for the next question, this one is from Scott. He's asking, there's been a little bit of discourse with the Daemon emulator recently. It's apparently the only proper way to play a PS2 game nowadays. Mm-hmm. Does the crew have a feeling on the ethics of emulators when it comes to stolen code or profiting from other people's open source code, and just kind of the nature of emulation when you're dabbling with some of these legal gray areas? And if you guys don't know the specifics of this particular one, because I'm not sure if I'm up to date on it, you could also talk about the Nintendo Giga Leak or some similar events that have also happened in the past.
The Daemon PS2 thing and the Nintendo Giga Leak are two very different things to me.
Yeah, I mean, Daemon PS2 was PSX2. The code
PCSX2, yeah.
PSSX2. The code was basically hijacked and then monetized, and that's what Daemon PS2 is. I don't
which is giga shitty.
It's giga shitty. I don't support it. However, sometimes that's the app that's worked when PCSX2 hasn't worked. So I've definitely used it a time or two.
It's a bad situation because a lot of emulators in general are working off of 10 or 15-year-old code bases right now still. Muppin. Where minor things keep getting updated, right? But as far as they need a top down on a lot of these things, and that's the way it is with PCSX2 and Daemon as well, and a lot of other emulators. The best thing to do would be to start over, in my opinion, with a lot of these things. And especially with PCSX2 and Daemon, start over just so you can get rid of that community drama. Because as much as things have been monetized and as much fun as drama is sometimes, we don't have a solid PS2 emulator because of this crap.
Right.
I mean, we've got Android devices now that are running GameCube games in four times resolution and with widescreen hacks and Wii games and all that kind of stuff. There's even a Nintendo Switch emulator that's out right now for the Snapdragon 865 and above. I mean, we're well past where we should be for PS2 emulation because of stuff like this. And it definitely has hurt the community to the point where I don't think anybody's even looking into building another PS2 emulator right now because they'd have to start from scratch, right?
Right.
Shame.
Yeah, well, okay, there is Play. There's the Play LibRetro core that's being built, which is coming along. I'm proud of it. I'm following developments on that, and
How is that?
it is what you're talking about. I mean, it's kind of the best attempt at starting fresh, as far as I can tell. It might take parts of PCS X2, but of course it's not monetized, and so maybe that's the difference. I need to read up on it, but it's emulating. It's emulating inside of RetroArch. I think I tested Burnout Revenge with it, and it ran decently, but it was on definitely my main PC, so I'm not going to run it on my NVIDIA Shield or anything.
And as far as the Giga Leak is concerned, I'm of two definite minds about it. Number one, I think it's crappy that Nintendo hasn't maintained retro console support at all. Their virtual console, they just dropped it. It's just gone, which is silly. So all of these older games that we used to be able to play, even on our Wii U's, I think, you could still carry them over. Now you don't have them on a Switch, which is a portable console. On the other hand, the Giga Leak, that was somebody doing something straight illegal, and they should be prosecuted. And leaking source code for companies like that's a terrible thing to do. Because even though, yeah, we can look at it and say, oh, it's fun that we have the source code to Mario 64, those fan projects are just going to get shut down left and right, and they're also obviously going to be caught with Nintendo IP in hand, right? So you're not just making something fun, you also now have stolen property, stolen IP in your possession. So you can look at it from many different ways. The fact of the matter is that that's a terrible thing to do, especially when you're trying to, quote unquote, support the community by releasing the code. And those guys should be ashamed of themselves, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo is so hard about shutting down like fan projects and stuff, and this is definitely not going to make them feel any better about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there have been so many leaks and hacks. I mean, look what happened with CD Projekt Red. There's still auctions going on for their source code, aren't there?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
It's frustrating.
It's definitely...
There's definitely those people with the Robin Hood mentality of screw the big corporation, screw them for releasing a crappy game, that kind of stuff, which to certain extents I can understand. But it doesn't change the fact that it's still a horrible thing to do to something that other people have worked so hard on.
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
Yeah, definitely. So this next question is also from Scott. We've talked a lot tonight about upcoming handhelds and kind of what potential software they could run and that sort of thing. But this one's particularly about the hardware. So setting emulators aside and which specs or games or platforms a handheld could run, is there anything from a future handheld you'd be looking for outside of just the games it could play in particular? Definitely, if anybody can get those stack shoulder buttons of the RP2 on a nice handheld, that'd be so nice.
Yeah. I'd really look forward to really stable 5 gigahertz support on future handhelds. That's not really common right now. Being able to stream from my PC or from my PS5 or PS4 or Xbox or whatever to a handheld. So, like, for instance, my wife can watch a movie or something like that. I can throw some headphones on and sit there and play Halo 5 on a 16:9 1080p screen in my hands. That would be awesome. And it's something that would be Fairly simple to implement even on current gen hardware.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, in addition to all of those excellent points you made, I want something that just feels good in my hands. I just want to hold it. Like, I know a lot of people care about where the D-pad and where the left analog is. For me, I don't really care, man, as long as it feels good in the hand. I want my next handheld for sure, because right now, again, I have just the RP2. I want my next handheld for sure to have L3, R3 in both sticks.
Yeah.
That digital slider just does not do it for me. I can't play Doom like that, man.
What about you, Stubbs? Something weird?
Yeah, I'll get weird. What was
You
the
gonna
question?
get that chicken handheld? Is that what's on your list?
It is. I'm gonna order probably about 200 of the chicken handhelds. They're like $12 a piece, right? They emulate up to, I think, GameCube at a minimum. So I'm gonna probably double down on that. Resell them for 4 times the cost on Amazon.
Right.
Bankroll the money, and then turn that all around into funding my dream handheld, which will be the Chicken Boy X2 Pro 3000 LLXX 17. Okay?
Is that what we're calling it? Is that the one you want me to design?
It'll emulate the PS5 while you're pooping. So
right.
that is my opinion, and that's actually what's going to happen. So next question.
Next question.
What a great mic drop.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so coming over from Reddit now, we've got a user 235-236-3460-9234-357-455 who asks, what's your favorite Pico 8 game?
You did it.
Stubbs specifically
so
asked that I speed read that user's name. It was a long string of digits. Yet we've started having a Pico 8 channel in the Discord recently, right?
We did. We did. I'd never heard of this thing literally until that channel went up, by the way.
Yeah, same.
Russin from Retro Game Core inspired me from that one. Watched that video and I was like, what is this? A fantasy console? What does that even mean? I had to look it up. And now I'm super into it, super about it. Had to add the channel. I'm like, let's see if the community likes this. And it turns out we have a whole bunch of Pico 8 fans that we didn't know about. My favorite game that I've seen, because I actually haven't set it up yet myself, will probably be the podcast or the
podcast.
My favorite game is the podcast that we're doing right now. No,
right.
the pod racing game. Yeah, Pod Racer. As well as there's looks like a original Zelda like remake someone's doing, which is pretty neat. And as well as Celeste was originally on Pico 8, right?
Yeah, so Pico 8's a really interesting platform. It doesn't have a handheld associated with it. It was just a company being like, hey, here's a game engine. You can only make 128 by 128 pixel games, but you have a really nice modern scripting language to actually make the games in. So devs have just kind of gone nuts, and there's a lot of like D-makes of classic games. Like there's Pico Off-Road, which is like a super off-road knockoff, and this Zelda one and that sort of thing. But they all have like a very scrunched up pixel aesthetic to them. And
I saw that Zelda looking one, and that immediately piqued my interest. I got to look more into that.
It's super cute. I love cute things. I don't care. It looks
adorbs.
awesome.
I
I
want
love the look of it.
Soup's adorbs.
We need it.
Yeah, we need it.
We need it. We want it. Yeah.
And I saw too, and this is a little side tangent, that the Pico 8, a lot of those games, because of how they're coded, will be able to be ported to the Playdate.
Right. I heard that today.
They'll have to change their palettes and stuff, obviously, but a lot of those games will be able to be ported directly to the Playdate, which is interesting.
This whole twee indie scene that's developing, I'm just all about it right now. Like,
yeah,
it's
so weird.
I haven't participated in it myself, but like I just am romantically in love with the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So give more. Let's do it.
More. Let's go. More weird.
Yes.
okay, so this next one also comes from Reddit. French Cookie asks, "What is it like to manage a retro gaming community, handle a Discord server, and host a podcast? What's your favorite thing about it? What do you get out of all the energy you put into running all these different projects?"
You have to be a little bit off, I would say.
Yeah.
Something isn't quite right, and a little bit of neuroticism goes a long way around here. Okay, if you're running a Discord, multiple Discords, plus you're trying to do a podcast, plus Reddit and Facebook, and
Plus a
website and a bunch of secret layers across the world. It's
developing Android.
It's a whole thing. It's a lot of fun though. Like I think it keeps me energized. It keeps me young. It keeps me just, I don't know, stimulated. Like there's always something going on in the community. And as somebody who has like ADD, like I kind of feed off that. Like I love just going from thing to thing. And in the Discord world, things are just rapid fire happening all over the place. And so like it just feels good to just engage in a topic, and then boom, I want to hop into another channel and do another topic, and then managing all that and helping build something that you're proud of, that your grandkids can log into the Discord server one day and be like, yeah, grandpa made this place. If that's even a possibility, that just warms me right in my cockles, and I love everything about it, and I will never stop as long as this platform exists.
My end tends to be more implementation. Like when you guys see big server changes and new channels popping up or channels getting deleted, that's usually me doing stuff, right? So I'm usually focused on the technical end of that. But every now and then a user blindsides me with something ridiculous. And I'm not going to name names, but I get a lot of DMs that are questions about things that have been explained in excruciating detail.
Are they thirsty, Thor?
Well, there is some thirst in there as well. Don't get me wrong.
You are the god of thunder.
I get some weird DMs. All right. So as far as managing it, we've got a great team here. I think we have one of the best admin and moderation teams
and founders.
And founders. People don't go overboard. People aren't drunk with power because they're a Discord mod. We all know our place in the world. So we're just here to have fun and keep this community from getting raided.
Right.
Because that's been happening a lot. But keep this community safe and fun for literally everybody who enjoys what we're doing here.
Right.
As far as the podcast, it's easy peasy. All right. Everybody that's here, everybody that's been on, they just make it easy. We've got a great team, and that's why it's easy. Let me say that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. I mean, we spend time like diving into the weeds to figure out what's the best way to deal with an issue that comes up in the community, because there can be some people on the internet don't always get along. I don't know if anyone here has ever heard of that happening, but sometimes there's drama online, and having to moderate and figure out what's the best route. Dude, the team here, man, we just work it out. We dive dirty. I mean, we'll have conflicting opinions. Today we argued for 2 hours about a nipple.
That did happen.
That
we had a user who in their profile picture there was a microscopic nipple, and we had to debate whether or not that was against Discord's terms of service and asked them to change their profile picture.
Yep, which I actually went and consulted with a Discord employee about it finally to get like the final say from corporate about whether someone can have a nipple in their PFP avatar, and the answer is, if you're a partner server, no, they cannot. So sorry guys, no nips.
No nips.
No nips.
Sorry everyone.
No NSFW.
Put your nips away.
Put the nips. No more nips. Okay, we're a nipless
But I will
server.
say, stuff like that, and we're able to joke around about it. It is serious, because it is something to be considered, and it sets policy moving forward. But we can joke around about it and acknowledge how freaking ridiculous it was that we had to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Again, I just want another shout out to our admins and our founders who were once admins, They're just everyone is so awesome. It's such a wonderful community. I'm fairly new as an admin. I was promoted to mod, then admin, and everyone has been so welcoming and so cool, and I love it here, man. It's really cool. I'm not part of the regular podcast team yet, maybe, but
Now you are.
Now I am. So I love it here. It's awesome. The community is really great, and I was just talking to everybody about this today, I think, and then also a couple of days ago. I think what is really great about our community is that we're welcoming to both the newbie who basically, I just want to play my Super Nintendo games. I don't care how I do it, just help me play Super Mario World again, right? But we're also super welcoming to those devs and those people who want to make their own games, who want to work on custom firmwares and stuff, and just everyone can come together and just kind of enjoy it. And I think we've done, you guys, all of you, the community, the admins, everyone has done an excellent job. So kudos to all of you.
Bravo.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody
Okay.
being here, all the members.
Yeah.
We
I
will
think we
go
got time
over
for about 2 more.
Well, I was going to say, if you guys are open to it, I'd like to go over it and make sure we hit up a few more questions.
I do think we have a couple that would be perfect for a rapid fire round.
Let's do
So,
rapid fire.
Lightning round.
Right,
I love
lightning round.
rapid things.
Who's ready for this? I'm going to break out the guitar.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
What have we done? So Mario Man 85 asks, which Game Boy is most recommended?
Which Game Boy?
Which Game Boy? There are a lot of different Game Boys out there. Which Game Boy is best?
GBASP if you don't want to mess with it, or the original GBA if you're willing to do mods and put in a backlit screen.
Go ahead and go DM Eames right now and ask about the SP Unhinged, and he will tell you.
The SP Unhinged. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, that is a sexy thing.
So
For
short
those of you who don't know, an SP Unhinged is an SP in a solid unibody, right? And it's a CNC machined aluminum shell. It's beautiful. Check it out.
It is a sight to see. So Shortcake asks, are there any handhelds that can emulate old Scum games like Maniac Mansion, Loom, and there was a third one in that list. But I think that the RP2 might be able to pull this one off.
Yeah, RP2 can cover Scum VM stuff. Yeah,
No problem.
for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're into those old point-and-click adventure games, it is definitely a good handheld for that.
RP2 has actual mouse mode, which is interesting. So check that out.
It works. Next question.
Okay, so next question. Fegel is asking, do you guys think that the RG351 has a big enough screen to preserve the art on pixel-dense games like Donkey Kong Country and Sonic 2? Or do you have to hold it 2 inches from your face?
Well, you don't have to hold it 2 inches from your face. The RG351V has a 640 by 480 screen. It is clearly superior. So I don't find, because I have an M, I don't find that screen, especially compared to the RP2s and the Vs, to be acceptable.
Yeah, the V is where it's at.
Yeah.
Next question.
Okay, so to see us out, Scott asks, do you guys snack while playing on your retro handhelds, and which snack is best?
Hard no, never. I'm super OCD about getting like Cheeto dust or chip dust on my consoles. I'm just a no snack while gaming kind of guy.
Doritos Cool Ranch.
I like Flamin' Hot Cheetos or Andy Capp's hot fries. And the trick is you eat them with chopsticks so that you don't get your fingers dirty.
Oh.
Life hacks.
Oh. Okay, all right. I will have like ice cream or like an Otter Pop or something while I'm gaming. That's my thing.
The truth comes out.
Yeah, but there's no there's no dust happening there.
No dust.
That Otter Pop can get real sticky real fast. You got to watch out for that one. But as long as you down it real quick.
Ants in your RP2.
We have ants in our house right now. Okay.
When are we getting when are we getting the ASMR gaming snacks?
We're gonna film that probably tonight, and
Well,
we'll release it next week.
That's kind of your responsibility now, isn't it?
Yeah, Mr. YouTuber.
Oh man.
Mr.
Man.
YouTuber. We are
Maybe a great
going to make
April Fool's video.
We're gonna make a little YouTube channel here. Little review.
Yeah, we're doing some device support stuff. It's gonna be good.
ASMR and have a place to put the podcast for people who prefer to watch on YouTube instead of listening on their podcasting places. Any other questions?
No, I think that is pretty much it for the rapid fire round. I think there might have been one or two in the chat we didn't have a chance to get to. So sorry if we didn't make yours for this particular episode, but I think we kind of enjoy this format. So
absolutely,
we'll do it again.
You'll probably be seeing more of these in the future. But for now, does anybody want to give a ASMR outro?
Hi, everybody.
So, make sure you head over to brb-gaming.com if you want to check out our episodes. The next thing you want to do, too, is make sure you complete our Game of the Month challenge. Do at least one of them so you can enter to win our raffle. Our grand prize right now is a $20 card to your favorite gaming service, such as PlayStation Network or Nintendo or even the Play Store. Make sure you join us in the future for more episodes and keep on gaming, everybody. We love you.
Thank you so much.
How was that? Was that good?
I have goosebumps.
Yeah, I'm tickled. I feel tickled. Is that
When
one?
like, can we just hang up now? That was perfect.
I have nothing to add to that. Good job. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll be posting this recording on our BRB Gaming site in a few days. I usually do it either Tuesday or Wednesday, so I'll watch for that there. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much. I'm your host, Stubborn Pixel.
I'm Rapid99 or Cyberfile, depending on who you ask.
We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Later.
Bye.